see this stream. I'm just going to test for a moment. Are you there, Bridgeman?
Hello, yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Good to be here.
Cool.
Who will be honest?
And I am just going to double check that the stream seems to have come out somewhere. Nope, does not seem to be coming out somewhere. 1 or 2 moments. 1 or 2 moments. 1 or 2 moments. Yep. Okay, I think we have a stream. So, hello people who are in the chat. Welcome to the APAC Continental, the Swiss rounds for rounds 4 and rounds 5. I'm Ginevra. I have Bridgeman with me. I'll just explain. I'm a newish player. I live in Sydney. And Bridgeman, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Alright, yeah, I'm Bridgeman, or Finn. I'm from Sweden, Malmo. I've been playing Netrunner for a couple of years, and recently I'm trying to play it on a very competitive level. Yeah, I guess that's it. I don't know, I've done well at Worlds the last 2 years, made top 16, and I'm pretty active right now, and I'm going to be playing in Euros.
Cool.
That's about it.
How long have you been playing for, do you reckon?
Oh, good question. I think it's like, maybe 5 years at this point.
Okay, cool.
I'm not totally sure. I think it was like 4 years after the game's release, so I missed a lot of the game's history. And just heard stories about it, you know, people talking about the good old days or the bad old days in the case of like IG-54 and stuff like that. That kind of traumatized people.
And what I might do is I might show like the range of different IDs that people chose. Is there any surprises for you in the range of IDs that people chose so far?
I'm not, well...
Like,
so, sports metal is to be expected for sure.
Yeah.
Precision design, also pretty expected, of course. Those have been like the top things. I might have expected a little more ASA, but I mean, it's definitely less common than the other HPIDs, so it's not that weird. What does surprise me is the Wayland decks,
yes,
for sure.
Yeah,
I haven't seen a lot of that. Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of that in practice, and I'm interested to see if they came up with anything new.
Yeah.
Argus has been goodish for a long time, but not quite top tier for a long time. So I'll be interested to see if they have a new twist, or if it's just like the same old Argus list, but instead of Data Raven you put Funhouse in there, and basically you're doing the same thing. I've seen people doing that. It seems reasonable. It's just like it's never felt like it's at like the height of competitiveness. So at the very top level, you're probably not going to win an event on Argus. But very interesting to see. Also, 3 Jemisons is very interesting and surprising. Like, we rarely ever see Jemison. So yeah, I'm curious to what they have there. Built to Last is also surprising because well,
do you reckon
since
it's just
they banned mass commercial, sorry, what?
Do you reckon it's just for the small number of cards, like, kind of, or no? Does it have?
Yeah, probably because I feel like the ID ability doesn't give that much of an edge anymore since they banned mass commercialization. I mean, you still get value out of it, but I feel like since Wayland, they are often playing hostile takeovers, you probably should be playing the outfit if you're just going for that kind of value. But it's just 1 credit difference between the outfit and Build to Last when they're scoring a hostile takeover. The outfit which we only see 2 of, is more natural in my opinion, because it's like always does pretty decently. You can do very aggressive decks which helps in a fast meta. Yeah, that's about it. Of course,
I was expecting more NBN, but I'm wrong because there isn't. Like I was maybe expecting CTM or something like that.
It's interesting. I don't know if it's like a local meta thing that they don't like to play NBN. Although, of course, NBN hasn't been doing that well recently, but there have been some interesting lists. So I thought maybe there would be more than just two.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would expect more NBN than I would expect Wayland.
Yes. Or at least even, maybe.
Yeah. It is not that surprising that Jinteki is not well represented. Yeah. Just one player.
Yeah.
Then on the runner side, yeah, so 419 has been hyped, but my worry for 419 is that he won't deal well with the sports decks, but we're gonna see how that turns out. I don't know if these players, maybe they have some special tech in store for that, or some people have just been adding like more multi-axis to try to deal with sports metal, because it's hard for 419 to deal with Vashron. Like you can, if you steal it early, then maybe you have time for it to tick down. Yeah. But otherwise, they still have 4 more turns to score out, and it's hard to play Clot in a criminal deck. It's hard to play Stargate or Imp in a criminal deck. So I'm very interested to see how that turns out. The rest I've seen around. The Maxes, I mean, the Virus Max has been very popular. It's possible some people are trying other types of Max here as well. Hoshiko I'm curious about, because I've seen both regular Hoshiko and APAC Hoshikos out there. The same with Lu. Like, some people are trying to just go with Imp, some kind of virus value style. Or just pure APAC, and you're playing Loop just for the 40 card deck, essentially. But yeah, in terms of the surprising stuff, I guess Saya is kind of surprising to see 3 players on, but I like seeing Saya, and I like playing Saya, it's fun.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting. 2 Adams, always interesting. Although Todd Bebe, who's in this tournament, he's always playing Adam. So, yeah. But specifically, I want to see what he's doing, because he's a very good Adam player, so I expect him to be like at the forefront. I've been trying some Adam myself, which I felt it was pretty good, but I couldn't make it top tier, but it was like close.
Yeah.
Also, Ken is always interesting.
Yeah.
And Kamalo is also something I want to see what they're trying to do there, because you can play Kamalo in a few ways. We've seen last year people. So there were 2 main archetypes of Kamalo. There's one where you're like really ambitious and you're going for a very big board, complex board, and it was called the Padlock Kamalo, where you're slowly assembling pieces, and if you put them all together, you're like unstoppable. Basically, you have Consume and Palangi and Imps. You can like trash anything, get money for it. But then there's also the kind of lean Kamalo that Whiteblade played last year to beat Titan, basically, where he was on Amakua instead. So he was, and I think he was on Data Sucker as well. So he was just like collecting a lot of virus counters with that he could, so he can trash stuff. But it's a pretty lean rig. So you can, it's faster, I would say. It's just a faster version of Kamalo.
Yeah. Cool. Should we, I think they're just taking a few moments. Should we look at the standings as well?
Yeah, let's do that.
So yeah, you go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we have Sokka in first place. I'm not surprised, because I practiced with him and I know he's really good. So I expect him to continue to do well. I don't know all of the players here that well. As I mentioned, Totbebe is very interesting. He's on 12, so maybe he can. He still has the chance to make the cut.
There's a lot of people on 12 actually. There's really a lot.
I'm not sure what points you need to be at. I feel like probably the people at 12, they might need Well, I'm not
This is
sure.
where they have
At
to
least
think in
I would
really
say-
complicated ways, I
at
think.
least, yeah, at least one sweep in the last 2 rounds.
Yeah.
But maybe they even need 2.
Mm.
So yeah, it's gonna be difficult.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So definitely, it's very interesting to see Bing
Yeah.
this high up on
That's very cool.
Jamison and Ken. That's
Yeah.
very fun. So yeah, props for playing such unusual IDs. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's not much else to say about the standings. A lot of players on 12. The other players are on 9. They're
Yeah. I
very
just scrolled
in
down.
very poor position. I don't think it's possible to recover, but maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, so then if you sweep twice, you would go to 21 points, and I'm not sure that that's enough.
Yeah. It's
Probably
a bit
not.
difficult.
No. Yeah.
I will just
Do we have the pairings yet?
double
No.
check. I don't think we do at the moment have the pairings. I think people are getting tireder, and maybe some people might drop because there's quite a few people from APAC, which I'm really, really happy to see. But there's also quite a few people from other places, and it's probably like a horrendous time for them at the moment.
Sokka being one of those people.
Yeah.
I knew he was switching around his sleep schedule just for this turn.
Oh wow. Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah, which I also did last year. Like, I was practicing all week, getting up early.
That's very cool.
Yeah, if you want to win, you gotta do what it takes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is hard. But this
Yeah.
year I could make heroes, so that's nice.
Yes.
This is weird. I see. There's something
Sorry?
looking weird with the pairings.
I think they're just sorting for
That's
a
for
moment
round
the
3.
pairings.
Yeah. Okay. So I saw some people in the chat asking the number of rounds. I think it's 5.
I think it's 5. Yeah.
Yeah, what else? Is there anything else interesting? I was a little interested in seeing the Cabonessa decks.
Yes.
I've seen some people trying APOC Cabonessa,
Mhm.
where you're using spec work, so you can pull out a Harbinger from your deck and you play spec work and trash it.
Yeah.
And then you get some value out of that, and you use that to get like an extra disposable event in your deck, which is something you want in APOC decks. Like, ideally in an APOC deck, you might, like, if you could, you maybe would play like 30 sure gambles, and you just be like, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but then you just like sure gamble, and then you
money.
you just wait until you're able to APOC, basically. So anytime you can put more of that, it's usually good.
Yeah. I think in the previous stream, which was the winning agenda, I think there was also quite a bit of Out of the Ashes, which probably works with the APOC type stuff.
Yeah.
For Cabonessa Wu.
Yeah, the Shaper, since they lost Hyperdriver recently, they've been trying to compensate. So you can play Beth, but to get that extra click, but then of course it's not as reliable.
Yeah.
So you play maybe 1 or 2 Beth usually, and then the rest of the extra clicks you need will come from Out of the Ashes.
Yeah.
So basically you're just trying to figure out the right number, because you can play up to 6.
Yes.
6 is probably too
Lots.
many, so you're just trying to figure out. Like, when I was playing APOC Lad, I thought I only needed 2, because I feel like I just need to draw one eventually to get around that MCA or Chrysium grid or whatever, and that will be enough. But yeah, it's people make different calls there.
Yeah. Cool.
We also see Smoke pretty high up.
Yes.
There was recently the deck list of the week, actually, right now, I believe, is Odol's Smoke deck.
Yeah.
Which is very cool to see. Oh, actually, it's just changed to another, to a Crisium PD.
Yeah.
But last week, it was Odol's Smoke deck, which it's kind of cool to see someone playing like more of a big rig-ish style of deck in this meta and making it work.
Yes.
I'm interested. Yeah, I want to see if it works in these bigger, even more competitive tournaments.
Yes.
Because that tournament was still quite small, and it's hard to gauge. Like, okay, I was gonna do in the bigger picture. Like, I'm always skeptical, at least right now, of Shaper decks that are not APAC. Even skeptical of the APAC ones, but
yeah, because everything really else is so fast that it's hard to build up.
Exactly, but the Smoke deck, I played against it once. It's very interesting. I want to see how Smoke does this event too. And the people who did bring NBN, I also want to see what they're doing. Are they doing like the old Neurospike trick, you know, where they're just triple advancing a re-education and then killing their opponent?
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see.
Yeah. But I think that's, in my mind, that should have fallen out of favor because there's so much APOC that it's hard to base your entire game plan on having a big threat in a remote, unless you can defend all your centrals. Yeah. So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah. And I guess while we're waiting for the next round to get paired, do you want to like talk generally about how you're feeling about Standard at the moment? Like how you see it being at the moment? Perhaps compared to changes that you've seen? Previous, like to previous matters, because I mean this is a relatively new one with a relatively new ban list, so yeah, if you want to talk kind of generally about that for a little bit.
It's interesting because I don't know, in a way I feel like we always, like, people always end up saying it's a fast meta. Yeah. And I feel like it always ends up leaning that way. Like, if people can go fast, they will. So if there's some sliver of hope to do it, they will. Like, the sports metal deck, for a while there, I think some people, including me, were like, oh, I don't need to worry about sports metal anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was the least likely to be, like, just after I saw the list, I was like, oh, no, not anymore.
Exactly. So
it's the opposite.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like it made people realize they can play it in a different way. Like, because there was actually some vulnerability in relying on Game Changer, where if people were on Artist Colony, they could clicklessly like forfeit any agendas. So if they're like, oh, my opponent's gonna score out, I might as well just forfeit like 2 1-pointers or something. Yeah. Keep the Vashron, let it tick down until I can threaten to win the game, or just like that the old sports deck, it was essentially just putting cards down on the board and saying you can steal them or I'll score them. And if you can just steal it and then forfeit the agenda, then you're not building more stuff so they can combo out with Game Changer, so you're wrecking their whole game plan basically. But with the new one, it doesn't need Game Changer. It's just like, okay, I just play a Biotic or an Audacity. I don't need you to interact with me. I don't need you to have agendas in your score area. So in a way it's more reliable, although yeah, you can play Claude against it, you can play Stargate against it, but yeah, it's like people will find a way to make the meta fast. So it's still fast like the previous one, although it's not as ridiculous because we had the build to last. I feel like I didn't play for long enough to get a good grasp of that, but yeah, it did feel pretty ridiculous that you could play a mass comm and get like 12 credits, you know, or more. from collecting all those advancement counters.
Yeah. And it kind of went really slow while they built up the advancements on ice or something, and then it's suddenly over once they find the right cards.
I would say like this meta is a little more fun to play because you don't have to play against that deck anymore, and it wasn't that fun just because of how slow it was, and the fact that it's like you basically you're looking for stealing the government takeover.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're trying to trash important pieces, but they can always shuffle those back.
Yeah.
So it was like a long grind, and yeah, it wasn't that fun. You're just waiting to see who gets the government takeover first.
Yes. It's just the one card.
Yeah, so I'd say it's more fun, but it's still pretty similar in that you need to be very narrow I don't know, but when you're preparing a runner deck, you still need to take PD into account and sports metal into account at the very least. Like you need to be respect those. If you don't have a good matchup against them, you're probably not going to do well. I mean, you can always try to ignore one or the other, but I feel like so many people are going to be playing these decks that, yeah, if you're not doing well against both of them, I don't think you have a good chance. So I think that's a tricky part of this meta, is figuring out, okay, how do I do that? How do I deal with both at the same time? Which is hard because the game plans are pretty different. Like PD is never advance. You're playing ice. You're trying to tax out the runner. Sports metal, you're going fast. You're a combo deck. You're scoring from hand. So yeah, I think it's still a fast meta. Or I guess maybe the old one was slower because of the build to last deck. I don't know.
Slower, but then suddenly fast.
Yeah, exactly.
Fast to end, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but.
And you don't.
Yeah.
You don't think anyone's gonna work towards a glacier kind of thing? It's just not possible.
No, I would never say it's not possible, because what I've learned from playing Netrunner a lot is that as time goes on, people do discover new things within the meta. Like, people always like to... I don't know, I feel like people judge the meta too quickly a lot. Like, the ban list is just released and everyone's freaking out. It's like, oh, sports metal is still busted, you know? And then maybe a couple of weeks pass and people are like, actually, you can deal with it if you just do this and this and this, you know? And maybe, so what's happening over time is like, while people are adjusting to the corpse will adjust to the runners, right? So it might be that the runners, they lean way too heavily in dealing with PD and sports metal. And so some people will be like, well, if you're going to play like that, I'm going to play like super glaciary style that counters what you're trying to do. Like maybe some anti-APAC glacier stuff. I just haven't seen any super convincing lists that do that yet. So, yeah, but I'm not going to say it's not possible though, because personally I haven't investigated it a lot so far, but it's a possibility. And yeah, there's lots of people out there, I guess, that will be trying to do something. Particularly
for the Continentals, to try and come up with something new that people haven't seen before.
Exactly. Like, especially for competitive events, like you're trying to bring something new to the table a lot of the time. Because people will be figuring out how to deal with the old stuff a lot of the time, until eventually you reach like an equilibrium where it's like, actually now you have a lot of possibilities, but it sort of depends on what the other people are playing, what you want to go for.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I cut you off.
No, I was also going to ask, like, how do you feel about the meta from the runner side? Do you...
yeah, so I think it's a hard question, because I didn't investigate this a lot, but I tried a bit of 419, and I wasn't really pleased with it. I mean, it felt like a good deck, but it also felt like it's possible to lose in a lot of matchups to weird stuff. And also, I was afraid that he was not going to have a good game against Sports Metal. Then, yeah, I feel like Anarchs are probably the best at the moment because they can APAC against PD, and they can Stargate against Sports Metal. So something like that makes sense to me. If you're gonna play Shaper,
there is quite a few Shaper, like today.
Yeah,
People
so
like it.
yes, and it could also be like a local thing. Like I know Mitch, for example, is just a big fan of Shaper, and he just would never not play Shaper, even if it doesn't fit in the meta. But yeah, that like these decks are going to be interesting. So if you're playing Shaper, like some people were playing APOC Shaper to try to deal with PD. What I found myself is that it's actually too slow or not too well. It can be too slow because it's hard to stop the first score against PD. So they score at their agenda, and they already get their momentum rolling. They only commit like a little bit of ice to the board, so that after you blow up the board, if you do, like first of all, you might need to invest money in installing Ngolo, an expensive breaker. After you blow up the board, you get rid of a bit of your money doing that, and then they just immediately reapply the pressure, like install another card with an ice in front, and now you have to continue the guessing game, right?
Yeah.
So you have to be like, oh, is that an agenda?
I think we have pairings now. If you do you have a preference for the table we try and have a look at?
I would love to see Adam.
You want table 3?
On table 3. But what else is there? I'm trying to check what people have here.
I will just reload, but I think it's table 3 that we would like.
Yeah, I think we could start with table 3. I see Mitch respond that his Shaper always fits in the meta. It's true. You just need to make it work.
Yep.
Okay, let's jump into the game.
So, yep, I have joined, so I guess people can see.
And I'm in as well.
Lovely. And I guess we've just got a few minutes before the timers go off.
Okay, so we know that Bebe is on Adam and Sports, and then a Narco Mushroom. What are they on? Sports Metal and 419. So that's very standard. Both of these are very interesting. I want to see how both of these runners are trying to deal with the Sports matchup. I actually tried a bit of Adam against Sports myself when I was like trying to see if Adam is good, and it's so there's the good thing is you have the multi-axis straight away with the neutralize all threats. So every time you hit HQ, you get 2 cards, but you're also needing to trash everything you see. So if you see a Jeeves off HQ, you wouldn't probably normally trash it, but now you have to.
Yeah, you have to.
So you actually get taxed out, then they install their ice, and you can't afford to get in. I found that was the problem. So, I'm interested to see how he deals
Adam,
with that.
Yeah, is going to deal with it. Yeah.
And also, of course, the 419. That's always a big question. So, yeah, is a Narco Mushroom just gonna be playing more multi-axis stuff? There's some other cool idea. I myself thought that, maybe you could play the black file to deal with Vacheron, but I realized that it actually only gives you 2 more turns because your black file ticks down before, or it ticks down, yeah, but wait, before the background does. So yeah, it might be trashed before, so that before the background is worth points, you lose the game.
Yeah.
So it's not that great.
That. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just excited to jump into the game now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been a long wait.
They're almost about to set the timers and like kind of start it going. Just waiting, I think, a few more minutes. Just wait, like, I guess they're all sitting there ready for, like, to hear that they can go.
Yeah, probably. They're just waiting for the timers to start.
Yeah.
Now, Adam also has Find the Truth. So you get a little more information also when you run. You can also try to get around the fact that you have to trash things by playing. Well, it's a very very niche play, but you can do it early on where you play Dirty Laundry, so you go down lower on credits, but you're still making a run.
Yeah.
To avoid trashing stuff. So as Adam, you might actually maybe if it's still on
out of credits.
Yeah, like if you're still on Riseki in the Adam deck, you might like install 2 Risekis and then run HQ, you know, just so you go down to 1 credit, and then maybe you would trash 1 trash cost card, but you would never pay 5 credits for something you're not interested in trashing.
Yeah. Okay. Nope, time is not quite yet. Coming soon.
Alright. Coming soon.
Coming soon.
So, back in Worlds 2019, when I played Tot Bebed, and actually 2 times, like the first round of the top cut, and then the round before the semifinals. So I won the first time, I lost the second time. I didn't play very well the second time, unfortunately. But anyway, back then you were playing. Well, he was playing an Adam. It had 3 Risekis, 3 Stimax, 3 Pad Tap. Yeah, so you were. I think there was liberated accounts in there. You playing Angolo and Paperclip. Nowadays you can't play StimHack anymore. It's unfortunate for Adam because since Adam keeps increasing his hand size as the game goes on, the brain damage doesn't matter as much, and it's really nice to like basically not have to pay any money to get into remotes. You still have overclock, but it's not nearly as good. Like it's plus 4 credits versus Stimax plus 9 out of nowhere. But you have some new tools in the you have the memory diamond, which is what I tried, that increases both your memory and your hand size, which kind of synergizes with Adam, because so Adam tries to, at least the modern Adam tries to play a lot of programs, because as you get more memory you can build your rig even more, so you can have multi-threader and Riseki at the same time, and you're just like slowly adjusting depending on how the game goes. Like if you get an agenda early, you can install your stuff earlier. But you have emergent creativity. So if you can't install your multi-threader, you can still like trash it and get some money from it, which is a really cool feature of the Adam deck. It's kind of flexible, and you're just like putting it together as you go, trying to get the agenda points to upgrade your rig. And in the meantime, you're sort of just chilling, poking around, trying to keep the corp from going too wild. So the memory diamond helps with that, because then you don't need to steal any agendas necessarily to increase your memory and hand size. So you can wait. You're not as desperate as you were before, because at least I was trying to play Brain Cage just to increase my hand size if I was facing some kind of attrition Jinteki deck. Like or kill Jinteki. But there were games where you just didn't get an agenda early, and you ended up in awkward positions where maybe you had like 2 Risekis and an Angolo in play or something like that, And if you install another breaker, you suddenly have to trash one of your Resekis. So after a while, it becomes awkward, and you become really desperate to get an agenda, and you just don't get it. But with the diamond, you can get around that problem, and also you're drawing cards with safety first at the same time more regularly because you're increasing your hand size. So you're less reliant on your stealing agendas and installing your brain chip. Also, you can pitch them when you play emergent creativity, right? So you just play you don't need the memory diamonds. You just pitch it and you install something.
Yeah, I hope we're really quite close to beginning. I think.
Yeah.
Looks like the timer's saying it should begin soon, so that's good.
Yeah. So about the sports decks, it will be interesting to see if they have some kind of twist on it. People have been experimenting with different amounts of ice, also different pieces of ice. Like some people want to play more taxing ice, like Hagen. Some people just want to go for the cheap ice, vanilla.
Yeah.
And also the amounts of like how they mix it. Also the amount of assets people are playing and what kind of assets they're playing.
Yeah.
So some people might be on Rashida, some people are like on Nico campaign and Maryland campaign.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, awesome.
Oops, that's not correction.
Okay, mulligan and a keep.
So we don't get to see Adam this time.
No, but
next game.
After this, next game exactly. Oh, so immediately that's very unusual. The Tranquility home grid for sports. It's interesting. Maybe. Okay, so going aggressive immediately. I guess they're trying to get a background, basically as soon as possible. So just get all the accesses you can. Oh, and this is a great start. Oh wow.
Oh gosh.
That's huge. That's yeah. So
I guess that's the ideal time if you're gonna have it. It's ideal.
It couldn't have gone any better for them. That's the absolute ideal start. Like, first of all, you got the money from Bravado, you forced the res, then you immediately get your piece of multi-access Docklands pass the first turn, which you now can utilize for the rest of the game, and you hit the Vacheron immediately.
Yeah.
That is huge. So like normally I would say Sports Metal is favored, but with this first turn, probably 419 is favored. Like if you actually get a Vacheron that's worth points, I think it becomes really hard for Sports Metal, because there's no way he can win in just 3 more turns, I think. So although
there's an agenda score, at least that's something.
Yeah, it's 1 point. And of course they can't just slack off here and not do anything, but I guess you can dedicate a little bit of time just to get more money. Because there is Tranquility home grid, Totbebe is actually threatening to score with Biotic Labor immediately. Like he could res, install, gain 2, then play Biotic Labor and score an agenda. But no, he's just digging for more cards. But so yeah, the interesting thing about the Tranquility home grid is just that you can actually use it on your scoring turns. So when you're a Sports Metal, you're going to be putting cards on the board and then immediately scoring them. So kind of makes sense to have a Tranquility grid. You just put it there, and then you score it immediately, and it cannot be threatened. So it puts pressure on the runner to get rid of the grid, but it's kind of expensive to trash. So it's an interesting include that I have.
Appearances?
Oh wow! Oh, he's really
digging.
Yeah. Might be that he drew another Vacheron, and he just wants to shuffle it back to make sure that it's not snatched out of HQ. And on Orca Mushroom, they're just drawing. Okay, getting the Amakua, that's really nice. Can start building. Oh wow! Did they see? Sorry, I think I missed that. Was the ice on HQ exposed? Yeah, it must have been because. Yeah.
They knew.
So that's a super nice play right there. At first I was like, really, you run an unearthed ice, but I missed that it was exposed.
Yeah, with the Jesus Wild a little bit.
Yeah, this is going really well for them, because now you have access to both R&D and HQ. You have the multi-access, you have your turtle, and you also have some drip money coming in.
Okay, so a bunch of servers now.
Yeah, here we go. So the multi-access is coming in. They might...
And the money.
There we go. Yeah. And they might be checking the remotes here, just to make sure there's no funny business. No, checking Arndt. I guess they're assuming... that's game over. That's absolutely game over, I think. Well, actually, maybe not.
One's got a countdown.
Oh yeah, it's a countdown. Yeah, so they're gonna focus on just keeping agendas out of his hand now. So scoring out 6 points in 3 turns, it is doable with sports medal. So I'm calling it too early here.
And then drawing like absolute heaps.
Yeah, but at the same time, since he's only at 1 point, and so the way you score is either biotic, which costs you. Well, actually, with Tranquility, it costs you 2 less, so that's interesting. But so it would cost you. Normally, it costs you 7. With Tranquility, it costs you 5. But then there's also Audacity, but that gets rid of your entire hand.
Yeah.
So
and
it is
a lot in it at the moment, but you've still got a Spin Doctor if you just something vital.
Yeah, I'm more thinking about just the amount of cards in hand, because if you get rid of your hand, then it will, you will have to draw a bunch of cards to score the next agenda. Okay.
Okay, that's what it was.
Here we go. Jeeves, that's nice. I think it might be a Biotic Labor. Yeah. And install on Tranquility home grid, and then you maybe. Oh, it's Luminal. Yeah.
Yes, it's Luminal.
Gaining even more clicks. It's gonna gain. It's gonna have four clicks. Yeah. Okay. It's still a game. That's why sports is so scary, because
it can come back.
Even when things are going so well for the runner, it's still not over. Just because of those backgrounds. The turn is still going.
Yes. All the clicks, that's true.
Yeah. Never ending. Jesus. Oops. So they could use all of their clicks to check every new remote that was just created. Or check HQ. Makes a lot of sense to see 2 cards. Okay, so
that's what
now seeing a Mega Pre, I believe you want to check the board now, because you don't want a Mega Pre to be scored from the board. And and they also see Audacity in hand. So
yeah.
yeah, so they.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay. I wasn't sure about this, but looks like they're banking on agenda not being on the board, or maybe they're gonna use the last 2 clicks to check the board. Okay. Yes. Spin Doctor. That's another nasty thing that with these instant draw abilities, even if you just checked HQ, now there's 2 fresh cards there that you don't know about, and Docklands Past is used for the turn, so you're only gonna get 1 access anyway if you check there. Okay.
Yeah. All the Spin Doctors are now gone, so.
Yeah. So now they're going back into R&D. Okay. So I guess we're gonna find out what he put on the board now.
Yeah.
Which I feel it's pretty likely. Okay, I feel it's pretty likely that there's a Mega Pre on board.
Somewhere.
He says it's not smart. I guess he's talking about himself.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Be kind of bad-mannered otherwise, but... So no... Okay, he's thinking.
Yeah.
So... Yeah, makes sense. Oh, but only a Hyperloop.
Oh, there's a Hyperloop, yeah.
Yeah, that's good news. Only 1 point. Normally in these lists, you only play two Vacron, and that seems to be the case because we see the 3 Hyperloops. Which, that's an indication that the agenda suite is consists of 2 Vacron. You have 3 Hyperloops.
Bunch of
3 Mega Pre, 1 Luminol, and 3 Vitruvius. Sorry, what?
Lateral growth. Yeah.
Yes. And just digging for cards. Looks like he doesn't have something to score out because he keeps digging. It's like he just wants an agenda.
Exposing the Maryland.
Oh. Now, so
close.
Actually, any steal now is game.
Yeah.
So they will probably check HQ, maybe check R&D first and then check HQ. Okay, HQ first. Wait, they.
Oh, there
we go. Yeah.
There we go.
That was rough. Very nice.
Yes. It was pretty close in the end, actually. But then it wasn't.
Yeah, but
yeah.
Well, yeah, but then, well, it would have been close if they didn't get all these agendas. But then again, it's hard to prevent that from happening. Actually, ended up getting to 10 points here.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. So, I'm sorry, that was table number 3, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. So we're gonna look at the other side of things, right?
Yes. So this will be the atom.
Yes, exactly. So, well, interesting to see if we can pull it back with Atom. And if there's any special tech that we haven't seen before, if there's some innovation. They're still chilling for the moment.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Did it start?
Yep. Red level.
Oh, it looks like there's something weird going on for me. I'll try to join again.
Some ice on HQ and a unknown server one.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Okay, so that was a Maryland.
Sure gamble and then running. Yeah.
So there's the Earthrise.
Okay, so yeah, seems like he just wants to dig for a lot of cards. But also going pretty aggressive, like challenging even the first remote. I don't know if he can afford to check everything that's put on the board. Because you do... Okay.
Okay, here's the tread lightly that they just drew.
Yeah. Which... An Arco Mushroom Marestus, which will bankrupt them. But I'm guessing it's worth it then.
This time, yeah.
That there's something important in there to protect. And they end up shuffling Vitruvius and Megapre to show that that's the case.
Yeah.
No, I mean, Megapre, you're not really too concerned about it getting stolen. But Vitruvius, it's sort of,
Okay,
you know,
so
you don't want it to happen. Ooh, okay, good steal.
Ooh. Yeah.
So it seems like he's basically just going really, really aggressive with it. So we're gonna see if an Arco Mushroom, like if they get the right pieces of ice and stuff, then Adam will have to slow down a bit because you need to.
There's more ice coming on. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay, you need to be able to get into the servers, of course. So you can use Logic Bomb as Adam too, as your last click to get into a server, which is pretty nice. Okay, here we go. Tread lightly on R&D. That's a bit surprising to me. Like, you could, for example, run Archives and trigger Find the Truth to see what's on top before you play Tread lightly. Because for a single access, it's kind of expensive to pay a card and a credit. Okay, Riseki down. Yeah, so Adam is very poor. And it's going to be hard to get the breakers out eventually. So if enough ice is on the board, it's going to be difficult to keep accessing things, and that's when Adam starts to slow down. So he's leading in terms of points right now, but if he's going to keep it up, well, either you need to steal the right stuff really early, or you need a rig for later on. Okay, reclaim.
I guess that's their intention.
What's their intention?
Sorry, just putting out some money maybe to have for later.
Yeah. It looks like he's trying to prepare a bit for the coming turns. Yes. We have the first score. Could this be? No, it's a Megapre. I'm a bit surprised at the drawing here because they're so low on money. Okay. So it's always nice when the sports player has to score the Megapre and before it's worth 2 points. You're usually a little sad if you steal the Megapre and then they score a Megapre. So this is kind of a good scenario for the runner. And they're just digging desperately for something. I guess an agenda?
Yeah, because they've got the Jeeves ready. They've probably got other things pretty ready.
Yeah, it's hard to say like why the things are being done without knowing what's in hand. Okay,
Oops.
Here we go. Like it could
audacity.
be that. Yeah, it could be that they will. Well, actually, I think they were just digging for tools because you're not afraid to discard the Vacheron as long as you have a Spin Doctor on board. So it might be the Spin Doctor is triggered here to stop that steal. And they're doing well now. Because Adam has no way to stop scoring from hand. It's hard for him to check HQ. Like either you need to get the breaker out, or you need to logic bomb at the end of your turn. So yeah, he's saying like, please give me something. Like he really wants to get Angolo here, I think, to be able to check HQ. If this list is still on Angolo, maybe it's changed. Okay, here we go. So probably some breakers now. Which one? Angolo, yes. Okay, so probably checking HQ. Because you get the double. Oh, so he's gonna see everything in HQ. This is another neat little addition to Adam from the latest sets.
Yes.
And okay, so he gets an agenda. It's pretty bittersweet to still hyperloop because they get so much from it.
Yes.
But
it's a point.
Like they might even have drawn into another better agenda. This is always the paradox of playing in sports. Like if you're damned if you run, you're damned if you don't run. You know, like you're running, you steal an agenda, and you're like yes, but then they draw 2 cards and they draw a better agenda and score it the next turn.
Yeah.
Or they get enough money to combo out the next turn.
They're thinking.
Yeah.
I wonder if they've got almost enough tools for something interesting.
Yeah, we saw a biotic labor from hand, so we know that if they have a 3/2 in hand, they can score it. Also, actually, I think they're on enough money. If they had a Vacheron and biotic, they might be able to score it. No, yeah, actually it would. Yeah, because you would have 3 cards in hand, so you could biotic, play Vacheron, advance it 3 times, gain a click, and then you've spent 7, and then you play Audacity, you score a Vacheron and win the game.
Yeah, this is they're going to score something. Yeah, Audacity.
Oh,
they're done.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well played.
Pretty quick.
And good game.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, so basically, the sports just got too much resources.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice. Okay.
We will leave it. Do you have a table that you would like to visit now?
Give me a second. We can both look for things that look interesting. Maybe chat has something that they want to look at too. We could take that into account.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like, by the way, the top tables might be IDing right now.
Yes.
So
it's that stage of the day, I think.
Yeah, I think they just want to play it safe.
Okay,
it tends to be the case on the top tables.
We've got a request for Jemison, if it's available.
Okay, what table is that?
I'm going to...
Jemison is... So that's Bing. Bing is playing against Gunslinger, but Gunslinger has asked to not be streamed. Sure. And also, actually, they're already done. They already split.
Okay, fine. No worries. Sorry.
No, I'm just checking.
No, that's cool.
Suggestions are coming in, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. What about NB Kelly? The Reality Plus would be cool to see. Are they? No, they already split as well.
Okay. What I might do is...
What about Captain the Anza guy?
In the previous stream that was shown, if you want, or...
Yeah, I don't know how many of them were covered.
You wanted to see table 5 anyhow, I think, when we were talking before. Do you want to try that?
Table 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Okay, just a sec.
Let's jump in and ask if it's okay.
Okay, you'll ask? You let me know then. Just waiting a moment.
Yeah, they say it's okay.
Okay.
And interesting matchup, Outfit versus Cabonessa. You don't see this every day.
Yeah, it's cool.
And even more interesting, there's a CBI raid in the Cabonessa deck. I've never seen this before. I rarely ever see this card played. For those who are not familiar, it is a run event that allows you to make a run on HQ, and if it's successful, instead of accessing cards, the corp has to add all cards in HQ to the top of R&D in order of their choice.
Oh, and we've
That's pretty
hard-hitting news now.
Yeah. So, but I think, yeah, this is not a problem for Caponessa. They might even be playing in misdirection, and then they could just pull it out of the deck with the ID ability and get rid of all the tags for very cheap. Of course, then it would. Oh, it's actually in the bin actually. So they have to clear the tags like this. But if they're even points and it's versus the outfit with already one bad publicity, that's not a good sign for the outfit. Like usually outfit, you're riding the tempo to victory. So you try to get to 6 points early, and you score a hostile takeover to finish up the game. No, there's actually a clot, so you can't score a hostile takeover.
No.
And there's 3 Resekis on the board. There's a lot of board for the runner in general.
Yes.
Very difficult to threaten. Although they're both on low credits, which should be mentioned. So, a thing that can happen versus the outfit is that they play too big to fail on low credits, and suddenly, even though you thought you were kind of even, now they're on a huge amount of credits, they play hard-hitting news, and you're in a bad spot. Although with these
I think
3
they've
Resekis...
had a too big to fail already, so that they may well have others in their deck.
Yeah, there should be 3 in the deck. Usually that's the case. This looks like a normal root outfit list, and it's already used all 3 dedication ceremonies. Probably used some of the first in trying to score the city works, and then I guess the others for reversed accounts to get rid of money. But that is all passed, and that's a lot of resources that's already been used.
Okay, so
and now another
send a
agenda.
Message there.
Yeah, so I think the worry for the runner now
and they've
is
used it to res the bulwark?
Yes. Now they need to be worried about punitive counter-strike. They could actually play 2 punitive counter-strikes
in a row, which
right
might be
now
what they're looking for.
in the game. Yeah, because so I think installing the Harbinger was a mistake. I think here you click so you have 3 credits, and then the Talut makes it so you have 3 credits and 2 link, so you're at 5.
There's another too big to
here
fail,
we
like
go.
you were saying, and then the punitive.
Might just be dead now. So with the too big to fail, it doesn't really matter if you click for credits, but yeah, it's over.
Another one. Okay.
Unfortunate. Yeah, that's the sort of thing that can happen. You need to be careful. I think actually you don't even go for the steal there. Because you're at a low credit count, they can always play too big to fail, and actually Knuckle Guy was not even threatening to score because he was on 2 credits. He cannot possibly score 5-3. He is threatening to score a hostile takeover, but maybe you just let that slide. I'm not sure.
Yeah. No, it's high value.
Yeah. Then again, if he didn't have the perfect cards, too big to fail plus double punitive, then Anzuke, they could have survived by just clicking to go to 3 credits, because then you have 3 credits plus 2 link, you're at 5. So Knuckle Guy, well actually I'm sorry, he was actually at 5, so he was threatening to score.
Okay.
Oh, I'm talking nonsense, but maybe you're still too low on credits to challenge it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Would you like to visit another game?
Yeah. Are they done with their match? We can visit another game. Yeah. What do we have? I think we maybe just pick a random one and see what's going on, because there's so many people who already finished their games, I feel like.
Sure, you tell me a random.
Let me see. What about Longi on Argus and Hachiko?
Okay, table 9.
That's it. Yeah.
Do you want to check? Is it okay?
Yeah, I'm asking.
Yep, sorry.
Okay. Well, Longi says it's okay, but Pao Chan has not
Just
replied.
wait. Oh, maybe.
Pao Chan is not responding. I don't know. Should we try another one then,
Yeah.
or what do you think?
Yeah. Okay. You pick another one, and we will go visit.
Okay. Well, I want to see my boy Mitch. How is he doing on table 11? That would be interesting.
You ask.
Okay. So Mitch says okay.
And Ghost Meat is okay?
Ghost Meat says it's over though.
Oh, crap. Oh, dear.
Well, we'll see, I guess.
You'd like to go?
Over. Actually, it looks like Mitch is gonna win right now.
Right.
But I'm not. No, actually, it's not done yet.
Okay.
So let's watch the end of it, because it's kind of hard to find games right now. The round has been going for long, so we'll just see how this unfolds. Because so Mitch is trying to score out his last agenda, but Clot was just installed with Simulchip, although he had to sacrifice his botulus to do so, and it was on the remote, so it's really like Ghost Meat can't really challenge the remote probably, so that's why he's saying it's over, I think. But I'm not totally sure, because if all you need to do is get past 2 ice to get the agenda, it's not.
Oh, there's more ice.
And also, yeah, or maybe he's saying it's gonna be over in one way or another. Well, you see, because he's on 4 now, but I'm guessing since we have seen 1 Vacron that there's 2 more Vacrons, which means that even if he steals a 5-3, he's gonna have to wait 4 turns for that to actually matter. So yeah, this is not looking that good for Ghost Meat. And this Asa, yeah, it's the Sansan Asa. We can see in archives he's on Sansan City Grid.
Yeah.
So you're using the good old fully operational stuff to get money and stuff, and then you just create a remote that with the Sansan that they sort of have to contest. Otherwise, you keep scoring agendas from your hand, and you tax out the runner. That way, they have to run in through all your ice and trash the Sansan. And it looks like it's been working really well at this game. Okay, just getting accesses. And it makes sense, Mitch can't really res on HQ, because then the remote is weakened. So he sort of has to let the accesses happen.
Yes.
Yeah, it could also be that HQ is not actually that important right now.
Yeah.
Like, there might not
Nothing
be
worth protecting.
There. Yeah. Although every time he gets in, Ghost Meat gets the counters.
The counter on the turning wheel.
Yeah. If HQ doesn't matter, then he would try to go for R&D, but it looks like it might actually be hard to get into R&D, like credit-wise. Like, I don't. Maybe he's not able to afford it. Actually, he might try to run R&D, then like click through.
I guess this is what he's thinking through, isn't it? At the moment.
Probably, yeah. Because he's trying to find a way to either win before next turn or not lose next turn. A way to not lose could be to make Mitch pay a bunch of money to rest the ice on the remote.
Yes.
But it sort of depends on what
ice that is, actually.
Yeah, it depends on what ice it is. So, like, for example, if it's Gatekeeper, he can't afford to get in. Okay, so he's going for the R&D plan. So hitting 3 points here would be game, but you can't do it through Vashon. So you would need to hit like a Mega Pre and the Vitruvius. Yeah, and he's letting the subroutine to install something fire. Mitch doesn't have anything. He doesn't have like a Managarm or something in archives.
I think that was already on HQ, one of them, and maybe another in server 5. Who knows?
Yeah,
we don't actually know that.
Yeah, it could be, and
but something's getting installed.
Yeah, Maryland campaign just for money. Maybe it helps him score out a Vashon next turn, because actually it's gaining him 2, so he can afford to rest Sun and advance 3 times with this. So it might have actually helped him score out. Yeah, so maybe because he's acting relieved, maybe that is the case.
I think. Oh.
If it's Sun plus a background.
Giles Mitch saying there's 2 Vitruvius in there still? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's game. Yes.
Oh right, he can use the Mamba temples to rest the sunset, of course. I didn't even think of that.
Cool.
That yeah. Okay, cool. That's very nice. And yeah, going for the background in the remote, of course, would only delay the game.
Yeah.
But he would have to spend a bunch of money to do it. Maybe it wasn't even possible, as we said.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Good to see that. And what else do we have? We have Solomir versus Space Ice on table 13. They're still playing. Do we want to check that out?
If you wouldn't mind inquiring.
Yeah.
Anarcho Mushroom in the chat is asking for Rotage. Is Rotage still...
is he playing?
Possibly, yes. Table 4.
Yeah, okay. We can ask, yeah.
If you want to ask.
I will ask. Wait, it seems like I'm not getting in. It might be they have the wrong password. Because the normal one is not working.
Okay.
That's unfortunate. We could ask them, but really don't want to disturb them while they're playing. Let's. I think let's go to another table.
Sure.
Well, we still have table 6 playing. Tvaduva versus Valley Netrunner. Maybe
double check with them if you want.
Yeah. Wait, am I just being stupid right now? Because it seems like the password is not working anywhere. let me double check. No, not working.
Maybe give your screen a refresh, I think, is also a possibility.
Yeah, I'll try it. I'm gonna try Rotage again in that case. Oh, now it's working. Okay, cool.
Okay. Just check with them and then we'll move.
Yeah, He says, well, Rotage says it's okay. Prof. Wacko has not responded. I guess we just go for it.
Okay. There we go. Give me a sec. Let us know what's going on.
Okay. Well, looks really good for Rotage. Maybe he's actually winning right now. No, he's not. It just advanced. Okay, because 2 archers on the remote, and Archer is like one of the nastiest pieces of ice in the game, and of course hard to res as well. Looks like he's been using send a message to be able to res archers without actually forfeiting agenda, which is pretty cool. And he creates this remote that's really hard to get through, like a book altar to, even with the discount, it would be 7, I believe, to break it. And there's no book altar on the board right now. So, yeah. But I don't know what Prof. Wacko's list looks like. If he's on inside job or something, maybe he can. So yeah, it kind of depends on what Rotage list is, and also Prof. Wacko. But it looks like no matter what, Prof. Wacko is gonna need a book altar to get into that server. You could install a book altar, use Penny Shaver to get enough money to get through both of the archers and then get in.
Mm-hmm.
Although, of course, if that's like an NGO or something, it's completely devastating. There is 3 bad publicity, so if Rotage doesn't win soon, that might haunt him. Because Prof. Wacko can get in everything for free, but it looks like he's actually going to score out now. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Nicely done.
There we are.
I'm guessing Prof. Wacko just didn't have it was on corporate troubleshooter, so maybe it wasn't possible to get in even with book altar. I'm not sure on the math on that. It would cost 6 more.
Extremely expensive.
Yeah. There was the option, like if Prof. Wacko had a book altar, like an inside job and a boomerang, you could play boomerang on like the last archer and then inside job, but then a program would be trashed. If Unity is trashed, I don't know if the long game works at all for Prof. Wacko.
Yeah, that may have been a concern.
Like there might be no way to get your programs back. That would have been a way to get into the server anyway. But yeah, it looks like either he didn't find it or found it too risky.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. That one was quick as well from the time we joined.
Yes.
But yeah, pretty cool to see interaction between send a message and Archer there. Okay, so do we want to check out just Solomir versus Space Ice? We're still playing.
If you wouldn't mind inquiring, that would be really good.
We could check table 6 as too. Since they're higher up in the standing, maybe that's more interesting.
Yep.
That's Maduva versus Valley.
Yes.
Okay,
if you wouldn't mind checking, and then.
Yep.
I guess a lot of tables closing around about now.
Yeah, exactly. Like we're just jumping in, and then the game ends like the next turn. Vela says, Vela says he doesn't mind. Yeah, both say sure. So let's check this out.
Cool.
We have sort of a kind of a reg Lou here versus a very ice heavy sports. It seems like either it's very ice heavy or Vela just drew all of his ice
at the beginning
in this game.
Yeah.
But it could be like maybe a 9 ice list, which is a heavy on ice for a sports metal deck. So it kind of looks like it's there's at least 1 magnet. There's 2 drafters, maybe 3. We see Hagen as well. So it's a more defensive sports metal. But this game is looking really good for Tsvaduva. On 6 points already.
Just missed the 1, and the Vacheron has already ticked down.
Exactly. Yeah. So any
So that
agenda
was an
that's not
early-
a Asheron will win him the
Yeah.
game. And that's not hard to imagine that he would be able to steal it with this amount of money, breakers already on the
Yeah.
board, and the turning wheel.
Yeah.
And also not a lot of rest ice even. And and this ice is not that taxing vanilla. Of course, it doesn't cost Valley anything to res it, but
That's a magnet.
yeah. So the one way Valley wins.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. It's like
That's
I'm
it.
always about to say like how someone could possibly win from here from a bad position, but then they always lose immediately as I try to go through that scenario.
I think it's end of round kind of.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so like it was a really rough spot. He would have to whiff a lot of runs for that to work for Valley.
Yeah. It looks like it's been like a difficult draw. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We would have had to see what happened early, but it seems like because there's no imp or anything, so he probably just stole the vac run early in the game, and then there was just enough time for it to tick down.
Yeah.
He got some other good accesses, and then just got enough money, and Valley was not fast enough. Maybe the
saying there were no
was
agendas until the Vacheron, and then difficult draw at that time.
Yeah. Looks like there's only one game left. Do you want to check that one out?
It is
April 17.
We might not actually. Yeah, I think we might not.
Okay.
So,
should we
like in what you've seen so far? Do you want to kind of give us a summary of this round so far?
Well, interestingly, we've seen Sports lose. We saw Sports lose 2 out of 3 games.
Yeah.
I think, and that's a bit surprising in itself. I think, like a lot of just like regular runners, like not even trying to do anything super hatey. They're just like accessing stuff. But I guess in the games we saw that happen, it happened the way you would expect it. Like a vac run was stolen early.
Yes.
And then they just rode that wave to victory, kind of.
Yeah.
So maybe not all that surprising. So we've seen some like good starts for runners in this round.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, of course, we were mostly focused on the first 2 games.
Yeah, definitely.
Seems like my assessment on Adam was sort of correct.
Oh, sadly.
It was. It's hard for Adam to both get the accesses and have the money to get to the make it through the later stages of the game and keep accessing stuff.
Yes.
You get a lot of accesses early, but then you need to keep up the pressure, and that's where Adam seems to struggle.
Yeah.
And
particularly with quick corps, they can just like slot in that time period, and then it's over.
Exactly. They're just like, okay, well, you're not doing a thing, then I'm gonna score all my agendas. So cool.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't have much, but was cool to see the outfit briefly there with send a message. Was interesting, even though the game ended immediately afterwards.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess that's it.
Yes. Were there runners that you were particularly impressed by? That we saw?
No. I mean, I like the 419 is normal, but I think I like the piloting from Anarcho Mushroom. Seems that they really understood how they should play against sports, even if they did get like basically perfect start and good accesses, good draw. Played it well, but in terms of decks, I haven't been too surprised. The 419 looked pretty standard.
Yes.
But it shows that sometimes 419 can beat sports. So, and maybe it's the case that the better players, they have maybe they feel like it's good enough
They're
where I can
practiced
still
as
play
well.
419.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know
So
what's going to happen, and like, yeah, they're still fine.
yeah. So
I mean, although
the big
419
like
is the most popular runner.
It is,
Definitely.
yeah. In this event, it is the most popular runner, and maybe it's the case that the best players have found that actually the matchup is okay. I'm still doubting it, but it is definitely possible to win. But in my opinion, you need that early Vacheron steal.
Yeah.
But the people at the very top of the standings are actually on Anarch, as I expected. Like,
Yeah.
because they have the best ways, in my opinion, to deal with precision design and sports metal.
Do you want to look at the standings as they are currently? I'm not sure whether that's factoring in the round that's just happened, but
let's see if I refresh here.
I can.
It's still after 3 rounds, so
Yeah.
this is still from last round.
I can see people talking about whether it would be good to ID at this moment or not. Do you want to talk a little bit about how you would think that through? Because, like, as a new player, I never think that through. But like, how you would think about IDs?
No, usually it's pretty simple. Well, it's not that simple if you're not doing the math. But usually there's someone, an organizer, who tells you that, like, if you're at this amount of points, you're probably going to be in the cut, or you're going to be in the tiebreakers for the cut. So usually you know. Otherwise, it's kind of a gut feeling. Like, you look at where other people are. So let's say it's 1 round before top 8. You have 1 more round to play, and you are in the top 16.
Which is the situation now, actually.
Yeah, exactly. And let's say you're in top 16, and you have, you will have some players that are sort of unassailable unless they lose, which probably they won't, because they will ID, most likely. Like Sokka, he ID'd last round, so he's going to be on 21 points. I assume that means that 24 points means you're guaranteed a top cut spot, because otherwise he would not be IDing. So that means, like, everyone who's going to be on 18 next round has a chance if they sweep. So everyone who's on 18 is going to have to sweep. So, but yeah, in general, you would look at least what I did for Worlds like 2019 is I looked at how many players are on my point range. Yeah. And how far would I slide if I only gain 3 points for the next round, basically. Yeah. And I don't like IDing, but like, if it's really high stakes, then it still makes sense, especially for Worlds, I would say. But yeah, so in that case, I slided from 2nd seed to 4th. So, like, usually it's pretty clear. Yeah. What it is a bit harder if you're further down in the, like, you have a good amount of points, but you have bad tiebreakers. That's when it gets really tricky. Yeah. Right? Because if you've been playing all the people with high amounts of points, you know that you're gonna have good tiebreakers, and if you just hit a certain amount, you're gonna be in it for sure. Like Sokka, for example, he has, now he's played the good players, so no matter what, if he's on 24, he's gonna be all set. Now, the tricky part is, like, do we know for sure that everyone in the top cut is going to be on 24, or maybe can there be one player on 21? Something like, some questions like that. It's not always super clear, and I don't really have any advice other than looking at the standings and gut feeling on or someone might tell you, someone who's done the math. People are
predicting that there'd be quite a lot of 2-for-1s maybe at the moment.
Yes, I mean, it's the last round, so most people who are on 18 gonna 2-for-1, unless they just they're there to play and they just want to play both games. Yeah, but you can 2-for-1, and then of course play a friendly game with the person after your 2-for-1 as well. Yeah, it's possible. Yeah,
although I think a lot of people who aren't in the APAC region will be getting really, really tired, because I mean, it's definitely nighttime here. sitting in the dark. So, people who got up during their nighttime must be ultra tired at the moment.
I think so. Sokka, for example, he's probably going to be happy to ID early and get rest. Yeah. That's actually, I mean, if you're playing in a bad time zone, that's actually a reason in itself to ID. Like, if you would like to, even if you would like to play normally, I've done that in recent store champs, but the stakes are not as high then, where I'm like, no, I just want to play the game. I just want to get in as many games as possible, because in these events where you're playing against good players, they're usually a lot more valuable experience than just playing against random people on Jinteki. Like, you get a much better feel for exactly how good you are and how good your decks are when you're playing against the best people. So I think it's valuable in itself just to keep playing the tournament games.
Yes, definitely. Unless you're completely tired out.
Yeah, exactly. So here the stakes are high. Like, of course, everyone wants to qualify for the Intercontinentals.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for tomorrow as well, which Yeah,
you need You need to, first of all, you need to make top 8. But yeah, like, of course, both the title here matters and the prizes. People, at least I would care a lot about the prizes. I would care a lot about the title, and I would care a lot about getting into Intercontinentals.
Yes.
So when it's that much on stakes, like, even if you like to play the game, most people will be like, yeah, well, I'd rather go for that than just playing games.
Yes. Yes, definitely.
I'm gonna take a short bathroom break. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
How long is it until the next round, do you think?
So there's actually 10 minutes left in the round, and there's only 2 games left that are still running, and I think there are people who don't wish for us here. So I guess I'm going to ask the chat just for a moment. What has the chat's favourite game so far been? Cool. Do we have any kind of things that people particularly saw? Or I mean, I can see people asking for Rotage in the next round. Okay, we've got several people asking for Rotage again. Sorry, Rotage, if that's not your favourite. Rotage is saying they want to ID the next round, so that would be quite tricky. Cool. But yes, that's okay. Rotage is happy to be streamed though. Thank you very much for the compliments on the stream, and we've got another round to still go through. Yep, there is... Okay, so just talking about tomorrow, there's going to be a top 8 tomorrow. And I really do feel for the people who don't live in APAC that might be going to come back tomorrow. But I guess people who don't live in APAC get a Sunday after that. So I guess that evens it out. I'm sure they will be wanting to sleep in a lot after this. Yes, and Manverupt is reminding us that tomorrow it starts at 10:30, so not 11. Today it was 11, so tomorrow it's 10:30, so half an hour earlier. So the people who make the cut, they should remember that, or who are thinking they're close to making the cut should probably remember that. just know there won't be updated standings right at the moment because are you back, Bridgeman? One moment, I will unmute you. Yep, you're unmuted now. Sorry about that.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so did I miss anything?
No, we're just talking about time zones and times for tomorrow and things like that.
Yeah, there was some people talking about it, maybe?
Yeah.
In the chat?
Yes.
Yeah.
It looks like there's just one game probably still going, or still people sitting there.
Oh, is it something you?
And I don't think we shouldn't. We're not meant to show. Yeah.
Okay, good. Then we'll just chill.
Yeah.
Should we take a break, or do you want to discuss something?
I might take a break just for a little moment and have a drink. If you want to continue chatting for just a moment.
Okay, and I see also now Arndt is ready for his mic check.
Okay, great. Would you mind inviting Arndt to the just come into the stream comms? And
yeah,
when he arrives,
I'll tell
he
him.
can say hello. So I think we have Rustryder, Arndt, joining us for the next part of this stream. So round 5, which is the final round for today.
Yeah, so Arndt or Rustryder, he's really good German player. Met him at Worlds 2019. Now we play in the same testing group, and
Cool.
he's 2019 he got 4th place at Worlds, which is really good, and he also won
amazing.
the Eternal Championship. So he's still
cool.
actually, because there was no Eternal Championship last year, he is still the champion. So we're calling him the Eternal Champion.
That's very good.
But he's not going to be the Eternal. Well, he might be, but now they're going
to have to defend.
They're revamping Eternal, so
he'll need to defend it. Yeah.
Exactly, he's going to have to defend his time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, let's see when he joins.
Yeah.
I'm gonna also check if they updated the standing. No, because they're still playing.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like.
I want to see this Freedom list. How's Freedom doing? Oh, Freedom is not doing well. Okay. Unfortunate. Would have been interesting.
Yeah. No, maybe just not a great day.
Yeah, exactly.
It looks really like the games are winding up, so I guess there will be then a little bit of work to create the new standings and the new pairings, and then we'll be up to see.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna grab some more water while we're waiting for Arndt to join.
Little interlude. Yeah. Sorry about the no music. People in the chat haven't got that organized, so just a little interlude here. Ed, I can... No, I'm not going to sing for you. I'm very sorry about that, but no singing. Also, don't want to deal with copyright issues, sorry.
They want us to sing?
Yeah, no. Sorry.
I could sing something.
Oh.
Oh.
I am
that
hearing.
Arndt
Is that
joining
you?
us?
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. Am I audible?
Yes, you are
audible
on to the stream. I'm very sorry. There's no way to do it nicely. So say hello to the stream also.
Oh, hello. I'm a Rustryder, mostly known for like tryharding on Janet Casual. So yes, hello.
Hello.
I'm sorry for being late somewhat.
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. So, have you been looking at how the standings are and so on, and the choice of IDs, and is that what you were thinking it would be like, or not really?
So if I'm honest, I woke up a minute ago, so I haven't looked at anything.
Yeah, no worries. You can look at it while we're talking, because I think it will just be a few minutes before they update and get ready for the next round.
Well, Sokka mentioned an interesting decision in chat that NP Kelly who was on the Reality Plus list ID'd.
Yeah.
But I think that may actually that they were surprised by the decision, because now, let's see, they're at 15 points. Actually, it could still be within range of getting into the cut. Might be that Sokka actually has like way more than you need.
Yeah.
Yes, because they have updated the standings. The Sokka is clear first with 21 points.
One moment, and I'll
we have 5 players on 18 points, and then the rest are on 15. So this means that anyone on 15 is still able to get in, but you need to be in the top 7 or 8 spot. Are they doing? Do you know if they're doing tiebreak rounds?
I think they said no. I think they said they weren't going to.
Okay, so in that case, you need to either get to 18, or sorry, you need to
basically 7th or 8th? Or no?
No, actually, so it's a little different, but I think it sort of holds up. So it's probably the people on 18 will all ID, and they will, because they're already playing other people with 18 points, they're going to keep a high strength of schedule.
Yes.
So it's hard for the people below to get higher strength of schedule than the people above them. It's one of it's an issue with not winning early in the tournament. If you start winning late, it means you're winning against people with lower points, and it gives you worse strength of schedule. Or I mean, it depends on how they do later on as well, so it can change.
Yeah.
But as a rule, probably the people at the top, they're gonna have played people with higher points, especially because they're now IDing at people at their same points, which means they will follow each other to 21 points, and they will both the other high strength of schedule. So likely you need to be you need to both sweep here, and you need to get to the 7th or 8th spot with your strength of schedule. So all these people on 15, that's what they're fighting for.
Yes.
Technically, it's possible for all of them. I mean, it depends on what the strength of schedule will look like, and also, of course, if people actually do ID, if people for some reason decide to play their games, then some person can stay at 18 points, while another goes to 24, which is actually more than you need to be in the cut.
Yes.
So Sokka, for example, even if he doesn't ID here and loses, I think he's still in the cut.
Yeah.
So actually,
he's so strong already. Yeah.
Such a good analysis.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I can babble forever.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's it. And actually, cool to see. So Mitch is actually at 15. So our teammate might still make it into cut.
Cool.
So fingers crossed for that. Yeah, that's gonna be really exciting.
Yeah.
And probably we were probably going to cover mostly people on 15 points because the other people are IDing.
There are quite a few people from APAC, I think, kind of in that 15-point range. So I guess because I'm not sure everyone who's in the 18 range, but I think mostly it's people not from the APAC region. So I guess we see what happens for that kind of 15 range. Because someone from APAC in the cut, that would be nice.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not totally sure. I know Sokka is Canadian. I think Rotage and Anarcho Mushroom are like from
Anarcho is Irish, I think.
Sure.
Rotage, I think England.
Yes.
I'm just looking at the people who I see in the Australian, New Zealand, and APAC discords. I'm just looking for those names.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with all of them.
Cool.
But definitely we could.
Oh, pairings up. Let's have a look.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. Okay. But I guess we then need to just look at the chat to find out who has decided to.
Well, yeah, we're gonna see how. We're also gonna see by the tables that are created as well. But I guess it's gonna take a little while before like all of the IDs are processed by the organizers and registered.
Yes. People offering things at the moment.
Yeah. But let's assume that the top 3 table. Let's see. So is there anyone? So I think the top 3 tables are probably all IDing. Let's see if that's true. Ice Prisma, Anarcho Mushroom, they're both on 18, probably gonna ID. Motion Blur versus Rangi Doge, also both on 18. Sokka and Rotage, that's 21 versus 18. So that's covered. That covers all the top 6 people. They're probably all gonna ID. And then after that we have CA Knuckle Guy versus Axwell, NB Kelly, Gunslinger versus Vela, Solimer versus Giles Davis. So, and Tvaduva versus Bing. So personally, for selfish reasons, I'm interested in Solimer versus Giles Davis, but also Tvaduva versus Bing because Bing had some interesting IDs, and NB Kelly also interesting with Reality Plus. That would be cool to see what kind of Reality Plus that is. And Zaya too.
Yeah.
Just kind of spicy.
Yes. Definitely. There's often something spicy with NB Kelly's list, so that would be interesting too.
Yeah.
I think NB Kelly is creating a table. I'm not sure if they're intending to play, but might be something to look into.
Yeah, should we head over there and ask if they want to be on stream?
I think in the discussion behind the scenes, it's like IDs, 2-for-1s, all sorts of things like that. So I think people are still having a bit of a...
Yeah, so the people on 15, it takes a little time because most people on 15 will do 2-for-1, so that takes a while before they got that all sorted and they can
which
start
side they're going to play, stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. It needs to be randomized. So yeah, so we're probably going to see a lot of like just one game matches here.
Yes.
So probably those tables are going to be done pretty quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. Do we have any games? Oh, I actually see table 3 is created, so it looks like Ice Prisman and Arca Mushroom actually want to play.
Cool.
So that's...
Shall I switch to there, or you think people are still sorting themselves out?
Depends. I mean, depends on, do we want to see them? Actually, well, Loop would be interesting to see. But we just saw an Arc Mushroom last round, so maybe...
Yeah.
Maybe we should switch to something that we haven't.
Yeah. Because this is kind of...
I don't mind it if
last chance of seeing people, if they're like maybe not going to be coming back tomorrow.
Exactly. Yeah, there may be some decks that we can only capture right now.
Yes. I think they're a while off starting because there's still like quite a lot of discussions going on about whether people would like to ID or whether they would like to 2-for-1 or yeah.
I see Mitch and Solomir, they have both joined their game.
Cool.
At table 7, so that one is up. We also have, of course, the table 3 option, Ice Prisma versus an Arco Mushroom.
I guess we could ask the chat what they want to say.
Yeah, we could do that too. And Tvaduva versus Bing on table 8 is also something that looks interesting. Oh, of course, table 5 I also thought was really interesting because then we have the possibility of Reality Plus or Zaya. So I'm like, even if they 2-for-1, like either of those, I think would be interesting to see. Also neat that we can actually see how many of the points that they've gathered have been from their respective decks. So we can see that the Reality Plus brought home 9 points for MB Kelly, for example.
So is this you're looking at the standings or no?
No, yeah, if you look at the standings, you can see what ID gave what amount of points. Although if you're IDing, it has to mess with that math somehow. So, like for example, Sokka, he hasn't lost any games actually, but it still says that the max deck is on 9 points.
Okay.
This did chat express
there was some expression made, but quite a while ago. Shorty asked for MB Kelly working the gateway IDs.
Yeah,
that's something.
Okay. It looks like they both joined. Should we join and ask if we can do that one?
If you could please ask, and then I will join. It's table 5 we're thinking about.
Yes.
Cool. We'll just wait for a moment and then see if we could watch.
MB Kelly saying, Sorry, no thanks from me. Okay.
Okay, no.
Okay, have fun. Alright.
Okay.
Maybe if no other suggestions, I'm gonna exactly. You know, we really have no choice.
You both want to see. You both want to see your friend. Yeah, yeah. I want to see too.
Both table 8 and table 7, they're very interesting.
Yeah. Let's go 7. See if they'd be okay with us watching. Okay. Yeah.
So now just waiting for them to say if it's okay.
Cool.
So Solomir says it's okay. Mitch was okay with it before, so, but we'll see. It's not started yet, so
yeah, of course.
We're in no hurry.
Yes. I think.
Well, okay. Let's look at their IDs then, assuming that they will be playing. We have Mitch on the Asa, which we know is the Sansan Asa from last round, and Smoke.
Yes.
Very likely 2-for-1, and we're gonna see. Okay, Solomir is on. What is Solomir on? Argus and 419.
Cool.
So 419, of course, very standard. Argus, sort of the surprising part of this tournament that we have 4 people playing Argus. That's interesting. Most likely, it's very similar to the old Argus lists, where that used to have Data Raven in them. But yeah,
just with like Funhouse or different ice.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, you like the ones I've seen. You replace Data Raven with Funhouse, and it plays sort of the same. Except Funhouse, I don't think is as good as Data Raven was, just because it's more expensive to res. Yes. In terms of the actual subroutines, it's actually pretty good, I think.
Also, wrong subtype.
Yes.
Yeah, that is a big deal.
Because they have Mortalice's infection already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it compares unfavorably.
Yeah, so now people are on Veritas, I've seen, instead, because they need a sentry in the deck, and they're trying to figure out the most hexing. Veritas is actually like a decent ice, but it hasn't been played because there's just been other better options all this time.
Almost as if banning bad ice, almost as if banning like OP ice make bad ice okay again.
Yes.
Yes. Well, in this case, just rotating good ice. Yeah. Yeah, it's like when you remove cards, people find something else.
Yeah. Yes.
But yeah, it's pretty good on face check. If it fires, it pays for itself, because runner loses 2, you gain 2 back, and then you have the trace as well. So you already paid for it. So the downside with Veritas is, of course, it doesn't stop a run, so you can't protect agendas with it or anything. But then again, Argus is just playing the resource game, kind of like you're taxing them on clicks with tags and on money, but also with tags, targeting you as economic warfare and stuff. So you're just rushing behind and trying to catch them when they're low on money.
Yeah. Is Giles, Mitch okay with us streaming, or?
Let me check again, because he didn't reply.
Cool.
He replied to Solomir, but not to me. I feel disrespected.
It's bad.
Wow. Is this how you treat? Yeah. He says it's okay.
Okay, cool. I'll get ready to see.
Now I don't know if I even want to join.
Sorry?
No, okay.
You must. You must. Too late to back out. But we can't see yet what sides they're on, I think.
No.
So we're just gonna have to see when they start, basically. So
I'm gonna hit the kitty face.
So it's Argus versus 419, or it's a Smoke versus. No, sorry. It's Smoke versus Argus, which I think the Smoke is still on Misdirection. That will be interesting. Or 419 versus Asa. A bit more standard. Although the Asa is kind of an unstandard list.
Yes, I will say I would like to watch the
I think I can
the Argus.
Yeah, me too. I would love to see Smoke versus Argus.
I'm sorry though, it looks like I can see in the you know where they roll randomize it? It looks like Giles is doing Corp and Solomir. Yeah, Giles is doing Corp.
Well, that's still gonna be fun.
Yeah.
It's Netrunner still, you know.
Yes, definitely.
I mean,
it'd be great.
We got links to the higher up Netrunner gods, right? And we asked them to re-roll it.
Yeah, just pull some strings behind the scenes.
Yes.
For the entertainment of our viewers, we need to rig this.
Yes.
I mean, it's for the greater good.
Yeah. It's like Hunger Games, you know?
Yeah.
They're just there for our amusement, right?
Yeah.
Roll again!
Yeah.
Yeah, I will try not to be too biased for Giants.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I will try to provide a very balanced commentary.
Yeah.
And trash talk both players equally.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, cool. So how do we think 419 versus Sansan Asa is gonna go?
I think Asa is up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they have the Sansan, and they have not much to stop them. Sure, they have like the economy pressure, but without APAC, Asa can just build board and build like play fully operational for 20 credits, and you can't siphon as much. But there will be a point in the game where all doofs have been doofed, but Giles is still on like 20 credits, and then he can just fast advance.
Yeah,
I could be totally wrong here, but
no, it's like assuming he gets to build his board. That could be a thing. Also, he has. I think I saw last game that IP block was in the deck, so there's some inherent hate against Omakua, which is like the most efficient way for 419 to get through the ice.
Yeah.
Looks like we're starting.
Okay.
Pretty soon.
People in chat are asking if it's really Sansan Asa. Yeah, it's just like some spicy fast advance Sansan Asa list.
It is really Sansan Asa.
The end of a bit, so I think yes.
Yeah, so it's on Sansan and it's on Mega Pre and the 3-2s, Vitruvius and Luminol.
I think so.
And then there's Vacron to pad the agenda suite, but it might be on Hyperloop as well. I'm not totally sure about that. Because, well, it's yeah. Might be on 3 Vashron. We'll have to see.
If I had to guess, I would say no Hyperloops, but we can see.
Yeah, exactly, because you're just gaining 1 point and 2 credits from scoring it. So, like, assuming you have a Sunset, so it's probably not that. It's not very beneficial. Also, Vashron is sort of nice because you can put it in the Sansan remote, and if you have a Jeeves on the board, you can score it. So you're like forcing them to run your remote to stop that, and then they have to wait for 4 turns before it's worth any points.
Yeah.
Okay, we've started. But, so yeah, if I was gonna say that if 419 is on, so it might come down to how many missed bones are in the deck, because that used to be how Criminal punished or dealt with Asa. Like you just played 2, or some people even 3, but it became sort of standard to play 2. If you were conservative, you played 1. Nowadays, it's more common to play 1 missed bones, because you don't see as much of this stuff anymore. But yeah, if you're on 2, it's like you can trash a lot of cards very cheaply, and then it might be hard for us to go forward.
Sorry, I don't even hate 2 missed bones. Like if I would have to run Criminal, I would play at least 2. Because like all the PDs also run a million upgrades. So yeah. Meanwhile, we got like an expose on HQ, so Giles showed us a Hagen. I'm not sure how I feel about the HQ reveal, but let's see if it gets punished later. Because they had like $9.
I just noticed something like from Solomir's play, like after installing stuff, after installing the wheel, it was clicking for credits, which means he probably thinks that this is the hard-hitting news Asa that has been going around, which is a real advantage for Mitch, that his opponent doesn't know what he's playing.
Yeah, the nice rules coming in.
Yeah, okay. But Miss Bone's already down. So that's bad news for Mitch. Makes it harder to build board. But Rashida is great to have this early. It was a weird ordering though, because Solomir played Dirty Laundry and then the Turning Wheel. Surprising. Yeah, so there could have been one more counter on the Turning Wheel. And didn't draw in between, as far as I'm aware.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe just maybe he just changed his mind afterwards. I don't know.
No exposed this time.
Did he? Maybe he saw the sensor and that assumed it's not hustling news.
No, because he ran R&D with Dirty Laundry, and he saw a card, and then he installed the Turning Wheel, and then clicked for 2. I think you probably don't click for 2 unless you think it's hard-hitting news.
Makes sense.
Okay, so Mumbo Temple. Yeah, so maybe it's likely in the remote that we have a Sansan. But Mitch is having to play this very defensively because of this missed bones, and all of the assets are getting trashed, so I think it's pretty good start for Solomir so far. I guess Mitch... I actually don't know if Managarm is in this list or not.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I ran into him like a few days ago by accident.
I think it can be pretty good against Diversion. Because either they pay 5 or they've just spent all of their clicks diverting your funds. And then they can't challenge a remote after doing so. Okay. So the first fully operational. Not full value, but this is still better than playing a hedge fund. Which is, hedge fund is good, so...
Hedge fund's already a pretty good card, yes.
Yeah. If you can get anything that's better than hedge fund, you're doing well. But yeah.
Okay, so what's the plan for 419? Do you just like take central accesses, or do you...
Yeah, I think
to kill the bot?
It sort of depends on what he thinks the list is, so I don't know if he figured it out yet, but... Okay, so he just exposed the Mega Pre. I guess you don't even steal that.
No, you don't.
Yeah, so I think what you do as 419, assuming it's like a pretty standard list with Riseki and stuff, right now, I would just be drawing cards and installing Risekis and yeah.
Yeah, that's for draw.
Getting more money. Yeah. Because, of course, yeah, Mitch, okay, now the other Mega Priest will be worth 2, but it's pretty expensive to get 1 point this way.
Yeah.
And Solomir probably has a good turn here. Just drew 4 cards, can just set up more. I think continue to be passive, just get more economy, and wait to see what Mitch is gonna do. And it seems like exactly what he's doing. But it is a bit uncomfortable because he's going really low on credits. Okay, dropping the Almakua. I don't know how I feel about that, but maybe he knows... If he is expecting hard-hitting news Asa, he is expecting IP block. That's probably why the Almakua is being dropped. And I think actually there's IP block in this list as well. Yes. So it might end up working out nicely. Okay, so Mitch just replaces the card. Keeps trying with fully operational. Yeah, it's hard to say who's ahead. But I feel like Asa has an edge. Like Asa is on a good credit count. The Maryland campaign is going to tick down, and then Sansan will start to be usable. Though Solomir, of course, still has enough money on Miss Bones to trash a Sansan. Yeah. But after that, like, you will actually have to use real credits after that to trash.
Or a second Miss Bones.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, if he's on that, yeah. So I wouldn't expect it in this meta just because I haven't seen a lot of people on it, but maybe the 419 people feel that that's the way to go.
I mean, if you're 419, you basically forfeit the sports matchup anyways, So you can just invest all your stuff into beating Arthur and PD.
Yeah, but even a lot of people on sports are playing Jeeves and stuff like that, so you can actually use it there as well. So it might make a lot of sense.
So that's an exposer project. Yep, and a score.
Yep. Did he let the agenda get exposed? I suppose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter. Okay, interesting.
it's
And
the
now
same
the threat is on. Like from this point on, this Solomir needs to deal with this. If you leave the Sansan on the board, Mitch will probably be on 5 points next turn, which is already pretty scary. Given that there's no way to stop fast advance suits, I don't think there is.
Okay, but then
Oh no, we're blind boomeranging. Oh no, not so blind.
Oh, but
yeah, and inside job.
Isn't this a mistake? Like the boomerang should be on the backwards ice, because if you resist this one, inside job will bypass that ice.
Yeah.
Or does?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I think
fine.
he's asking to do a take back.
Everyone's tired. Yeah.
Yeah. So Mitch is being light. He says he can undo. I think it's the right thing to do.
Sweet karma points. Like undos are fine, but undos on stream, they're like they double in worth karma points.
Yeah. Yeah, so no new information had been revealed, and at that point, I think it's the reasonable thing to allow takebacks. There we go. Maybe he's not even resting.
Yeah.
That's really nice. That's really nice.
This is the power of like anti-rush trim, right? They have technically the breaker doesn't matter, but just with like 2 cards, they get into any server. Except it's like 3 subs or unbypassable eyes. Is there any? Is guard still a thing?
I don't know, but I don't think anyone is playing it. So so inside job. Well, Anansi is like the one thing, but no one is playing Jinteki. Like you will still bypass it, but you would take the net damage. But that's not a thing right now because Engram Flush Slot Machine got destroyed.
So it's almost foolproof.
Yeah. Okay.
Almost.
So looks like Mitch is gonna score again. So I don't know.
Again?
It's interesting. Like, I wonder if this list is on. Like, how many biotics could there be in the list? Because you're already playing Sun. I don't know if you play like 2 biotic or maybe just 1 copy of biotic. Could be that he's like, okay, I should get to 5 before I lose this agenda somehow. And then just try to like recur some fast advanced tools for later. But okay, I see. That is absolutely huge. Yeah.
Okay.
So because Mitch
try this one.
Yeah. So this is the ideal. I guess that's why he feels safe doing this, because Solomir with this he cannot just spam run the servers and collect wheel counters. That would be the worry, but Vanilla is like the one ice where this works out really nicely for Mitch. And maybe his plan is to just click to get up to 7 credits, and then he's threatening to win the game at any point if there's another biotic in hand.
That's a discard.
Discards Political Operative and Penny Shaver. So Penny Shaver is already installed. Political Operative probably doesn't matter anymore.
No, especially like they can play around it, right? They can just like install Advance twice, and then they can ask for an action, and they can't actually crash the Sansan before Mitch gets to score it.
Mitch is drawing really well. He already got the 3rd fully operational.
Yeah.
Miss Bones is out of counters. Yeah, so Solomir is really looking to get Paperclip on the board now.
Which
I
they
think
did
they-
have in their hand, I think.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's certainly with mutual favor, right?
Yes, they did.
Yeah. Okay, so it's probably interesting. Yeah, it might be. Yeah, it's interesting what line you go for here. You're not actually, since you already have Buchalter, I don't think you're that worried about running, especially if you have the Paperclip on the board. Because if you hit a Gatekeeper, yeah, he gets a lot of cards, but he goes down on money, and the money is needed to score out the last agenda. So then that buys you at least another turn.
Yep, there's
Yeah.
a Paperclip and also this
Gatekeeper
to
on the circle
expose.
one.
Yeah.
At position.
Well,
I think it's not a terrible idea to force Gatekeeper to be rest, though. Okay, so
But
yeah,
it's
he's probably
going
going
the
to shuffle
different
back
server.
the Biotic Labor here.
maybe fully operationals because they have more biotics
Possible.
in the deck.
That's also possible.
Or maybe he just doesn't care because the game seems over. Because if Server 1 is an agenda, he can't get through the Gatekeeper. Unless they have like another threat job.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, so I didn't think about that at first, but yeah, Solomir needs to be really worried about an agenda in server 1. Okay, full operation and a Biotic Labor. I think even if he's on 2 Biotic Labor, he shuffles 1 back, right? Because you have higher chances. And all he needs. Okay, yeah. So he's going for it.
The same pattern again. The inside job,
Yes.
then the boomerang.
And he's just not resting because you want to save the money probably for.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
That's why.
Wow. I don't even know if do you pop it. I guess he pops it for
Yes.
more fully operationals.
Or anything
Could,
else.
but needs more
interesting.
fully operationals.
Maybe a Sansan too.
Yeah.
Do unseen cards.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe he. You think he dropped his Vashrons from hand previously?
Not unlikely.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Trying to
there's a Mega
find
Pre.
all the. Yeah.
That's interesting. That's an interesting
no,
no res because it's Hagen and it would have kept Solomir out. But yeah, he wanted to end it right now. I think he has like the Biotic and the Mega Pre in hand.
You think he
But
already
not.
drew it? It's possible,
Yes.
yeah.
Because why wouldn't he res if he can't win next turn?
Yeah, good point. Although, so there's this problem that if Solomir gets the agenda you're trying to score, like if you're trying to draw into the next agenda and you're never resting the Hagen, then he might just do the same thing again, where he just keeps running HQ, and he only pays with 1 credit every time, so it's extremely affordable, and that means the chances are pretty good of him hitting the agenda that you just drew. So
I guess he took the 1 in 7 chance to win on the spot.
yeah, it might have been a good play for that turn. Although this turn,
Yeah, he's definitely
it doesn't
gonna res
matter
it.
anymore because he played a hedge fund, so definitely going to be rest the next time. Because you can still win the game then. You just need to be at the right credit total. Okay, so whatever he installs now is probably going to be exposed.
So the chat is asking if what 3-5 they're playing, 5-3. We think they're on a veteran.
Yeah,
we haven't seen it either.
actually we know from last round actually that it's a Vacron, and we think the deck is on 3 of those. Although not totally sure, but we think it's 3 Vitruvius, 3 Mega Pre, a Luminal, and 3 Vacron.
So if they haven't illegally switched decks, They're still on Vashron.
Yeah, so for example, it could be Vashron in the remote right now. But I don't know. The so basically in the deck or somewhere could be in HQ too. Okay, not anymore. We have there's a Vitruvius and a Mega Pre left, if I'm correct.
Maybe.
Yeah. It's getting tougher for Mitch. Only 2 cards that can be scored like that. And scoring a Vashron is really hard. You need board for that. You need a Jeeves and a Sansan and a Biotic
and money.
and money and already the background on the board. So I'm a little worried for him. Because it's so easy for Solomir to get accesses now, and this multi-access threat is building up every time. But if Mitch already has it, then that means the game is over now. So we'll see. If Mitch doesn't end it here, though, it's a pretty difficult position, I think.
Yeah. Also interesting to note, there have been 0 doofs played. And Mitch's money isn't super great.
Yeah, that is important. Though you have the trick of like resing a Sansan to not have them steal anything, but if that happens, Mitch is gonna go down to 0 credits, and Solomir is still gonna have money left over. So probably the Sansan is gonna get trashed, and then Mitch is gonna have to scramble, like slowly getting his money back up. Maybe if you draw into fully operational, then you can solve that.
But there's still only 1 in the deck, right?
I think there's only 1. Also, there's 2 Sansans in archives, so we know there's only 1 Sansan left if he's on 3. But yeah, this technically he's putting the ice on R&D, which signals that there's no agenda in HQ. Possibly he's already threatening to use Sansan from server 1 to score an agenda as soon as he draws it.
And we got the HQ defenses for the doof. So not looking too bad.
Yeah, it's still a little tricky. And interestingly, oh, he is okay. I forgot about the option that you can run with douches. Yes, this that's what I thought, that you kind of want to check the top of R&D. Although you can always get unlucky and but he's checking the top 2 cards, then it's harder for the unlucky thing to happen. Like, what can happen is that you steal like a background off top, and then beneath the background was the actual agenda that you know, that they wanted to score. Yeah. So I guess Mitch is gonna try to get to a decent credit total now. Actually, if he had an agenda and a Sansan, because of Mamba, you can score an agenda. But looks like that's not what's happening.
Oh, I do. Okay.
He's undoing.
No, redo.
Is it fully operational now? No.
Spin.
Just clicking for credits. So he's saying like, okay, you can poke R&D every turn, but you have to pay for it, basically.
And there's a spin doctor to like refresh it.
Exactly. So even if he sees the first card, Amina, so full breaker suite now, but very expensive to install, and Solomir is actually now for the first time like almost out of money. So I guess the Amina was installed just to make this run cheaper. But I don't know why the run is on HQ. I think it's just gonna run into Hagen plus Managarm, because it's the last rest, and you're making you're letting him use the value from Mamba Temple as well. So I'm not really sure about this run. Okay.
Maybe because he thinks R&D has been checked.
But it
was running really weak.
Turn, right?
Yeah, but they
they only drew one card.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Oh, there's Chrysium Grid, so he's basically a doof proof. Okay, so from this point on, since Solomir is so poor, this is actually, I think, looking really good for Mitch. So probably Mitch tries to draw for the agenda and possibly money up a little. Okay,
That's
fully
money.
operational, perfect. Yeah, if you like draw it on the first 2 cards, you could like money up on the. Oh, I don't know if he wants to be drawing this many cards. That's interesting. Okay, hedge fund. So definitely enough. Yeah. Although Solomir.
I mean,
yeah,
he doesn't have infinite money. You can get maybe like 2 or 3 checks on HQ.
Well, the
so
thing
there's
is,
a chance. Yes.
Yeah, he could bounce on the vanilla twice to get another turning wheel access, and then see 3 cards from HQ.
Yeah.
Which is very likely if he hits the agenda, which probably both, like Mitch will assume that he's gonna run HQ, I guess. Maybe Mitch is actually considering putting the agenda in server 1. Or put.
I mean, the
or
draw
putting
6
bait.
cards. I like bait.
Oh, okay. Maybe he can't get into HQ then.
I'm not sure this deck runs any ice that keeps Solomir out at this point.
No, but it's just a question of
Expense.
money. So 4 credits to break Gatekeeper, and you can't bounce on it because every time he draws, you make it less likely that you will hit the right card. So you can't just let him draw cards.
Oh.
Although there's 5 cards in R&D. An interesting fact. Okay.
Briefly, that's expensive.
Oh wait. Why is he running? Because he can't afford to. He can't afford to get in. Right?
No, he can't.
Oh, he's gonna let him. Of course, no. But Hagen, you
Let's
still need to pay 2 to get up to the amount of strength. So this run doesn't make any sense, right?
Okay.
Oh, you should have clicked for a bug.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Yeah,
in the
I don't
chat there.
Yeah, that unfortunately looks like a mistake. But maybe he could, of course, try to go for R&D instead. But then and he needs to click for a credit, and then.
Solomir is saying he thought Giles Davis wouldn't res, so I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I guess he's just gonna check R&D.
It's a guess.
Because the game is gonna end.
Presumably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably gonna
another
end.
skin pop.
Okay, so there might still be.
Has the game. I always like those like BM shuffles, like just shuffle in a spin doctor and a Maryland campaign, and then the stream's like, wait, why are they shuffling in spin? And like I got it all the time.
Oh, beautiful! This is beautiful. Do it, advance it.
Yeah.
He's exposing it.
Yes.
Nice.
Last one. Yeah.
I'm gonna write. I'm writing congrats. Okay, let's go to the next game. That's very, very happy to see that.
Okay. Do you have choices to where you would like to go now?
So Svaduva, they're already done.
Yes.
Yeah, who's still playing? I'm gonna refresh this.
Longy is playing on table 14.
Yeah, could be
Would you?
interesting.
I don't think we've seen a lot. Would you mind just checking they're okay to?
Yeah, we'll go in and ask. It's the Ag Infusion actually, which is very interesting. Yep, they're both okay with it.
Okay, cool. Just a moment.
So we have. Oh, it looks like there was a rebirth played. I think Longy is on Hoshiko then.
Right.
Because there's no bad pub. And it is a.
No.
Let's see, 36. 36, 39, 40. It's a 45 card deck, so it's Hoshiko, APAC Hoshiko.
If you can just let people know what's going on. I'm just having a slight trouble getting in, but just let people.
Oh, okay. So I would say this is pretty interesting. So we have a rest Shiashi. Shiashi is super expensive to break. Since there's an Eater installed, though Eater might actually be trashed right now to stop the milling, but probably not. And Ag Infusion can use its ID ability to redirect Longy back into the Shiashi later, so it has to pay through it again. Although it still looks like, even if that happens, Longy will have enough money to APOC this turn. So it's, I would say, like, even if Longy gets an APOC here, if he pays that much to do it, probably still in a bad position, because Agasha has a lot of money. Just rest, Shiashi still has 25 credits left. So if Agasha still has ice in hand, they can probably just reapply defenses to their servers afterwards. It also depends what's on the servers. If there's another Shiashi somewhere, Longy might not even afford to do this, because it's 7 to break now. Break it 2 more times. I don't know what they're doing. They're undoing. Yeah, okay. He's still installing the paperclip. He's trashing the Eater not to get milled by Shiashi. So there is something, in his deck that he doesn't want to lose. But yeah, if there is another Shiashi on a central here, Longy cannot afford to get in, because you would go through Shiashi once, more at least, from the Ag Infusion ability, and then if there's another Shiashi, you can't actually afford to break it and APOC. So Longy decides to just put a Botulus on the Shiashi for later, and install a Liberated count. But to me, this means that Agasha is in extremely good position, which was just further strengthened by the score of a NISEI MK2. So my assessment is big advantage for Agasha.
Which is with a seamless launch, which is interesting.
Yeah. Haven't seen anyone play Ag Infusion in a long time. So very interested to see what the rest of the slots here are. But we can look in archives, we can see that there has been 2 Seamless. It seems to be relying on Seamless to never advance score. Maybe not playing La Costa Grid in that case, or maybe trying to play both of them at the same time. We see like Rashida's normal Anoetic Void, and Macrophage, of course, synergizing with Sandbox. And it's also good in Ag Infusion in general, because if it's not applicable to the situation, you can always just trash it to use your Ag Infusion ability. So it's never a dead card, which it can be in other decks. And yeah, government subsidy to get more operation economy. So it looks like 3 influence has been dedicated to that, probably 6 influence on the seamless launches, and the rest we don't really know yet. And I've been babbling.
All the money makes me think that there's more expensive ice to be rest, right? Because they have the hands-on review and the subsidy.
Yes.
So it looks like Shiashi isn't the only big boy in the deck. Which makes sense, right? If you're playing Hack Infusion, you want to have the big eyes to hoop people into.
Yeah, I mean, probably Anansi is in the deck as well, so, and probably 3 of those, that's the normal thing. And then I guess, yeah, the number of Yashi, we don't know. There could be a DNA tracker, but maybe Agasha feels that for expensive ice it's enough. Okay.
Into R&D this time.
I wonder why. Because is it just to hope to get an agenda? I guess Longi might have given up on APACing because of the NISEI. Like you would need to pay so much money to do it. But this, yeah, it's a very uncomfortable position. Or maybe he is trying to do it. Looks like he might be trying to do it, but because of the NISEI counter, he doesn't have the clicks unless... And I don't see how he would get the clicks, because if he plays amped up, he will lose the other card in his hand. And if that happens, then there is no APAC in hand.
I guess
maybe...
It's just to tax out the NISEI counter?
Yes, probably.
Oh, that's an expensive trade.
It's very... yeah. Exactly. And in... okay. This surprises me a little bit. But we don't know what the ice was that just got trashed. But we will if he continues this run. Which he might not, because there's a virus suite. So he will gain 4 credits in that case. But
I mean, Agasha is on 1 million already.
Okay, so it looks like it was a border control. I wonder why not rest the board. Well, you don't have to rest it, maybe just...
NISEI counter? NISEI counter where?
Yeah.
Or no, did they just throw on stream or no? No. Hate to see
no. Oh really? Oh, R&D was, yeah, R&D was already accessed. This is... okay, this did not need to happen. But, which is really unfortunate, but I think actually Agasha is still in a good position, even with that. But now Longi has a chance, I think. But Agasha needs to, yeah, get a 5-3 scored. It's very possible that was an agenda, because if it was NGO front, it could be a Biovault too. But with Anoetic in the list, I feel that's less likely. So probably an agenda in archives. Agasha needs to get an Obokata and score it. Hopefully he has some more expensive eyes to back up his servers now. But yeah, I don't understand that, why there was no NISEI. Probably just a mistake, yeah.
The next problem for the corp is I only see 2 APOC in the bin, so there might be another one coming. Especially with like Longi being so interested in his stack, makes me think that there's another APOC to come.
Yeah, I think that's likely. Although, if there's only, with even 1 expensive ice on the centrals, I think it's going to be really hard for Longi to pull it off. Because there's still an NISEI counter. Ice on HQ. Ice on HQ it surprises me a bit as well.
Yeah.
Okay, it was a sandbox. Because put ice, you can still Omar run into HQ. I guess Agasha still has... maybe Agasha has a lot of agendas in HQ. Which would be really unfortunate here, because... This really surprises me. It looked like a really strong position.
Yep.
Is he trying
Maybe
to
he
draw
can
for ice?
He can
Maybe
get
get
some
more
ice
ice
back with
back.
the Spin Doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he's gonna install an ice on R&D now and like drop some agendas into archives to shuffle back. But the thing is, you need Obokata to win. You need to score. Like Longi, if Longi is on Stargate, which I'm assuming there's at least one, but we see it in archives, and yeah, Longi might like if Longi sees a Stargate, he's probably gonna install it and just go for it.
Yeah.
He's choosing to expose the DNA tracker on archives. Okay. So this is getting tense.
I know it's just a minor detail, but what do we think of the NGO trash for a bug? Are you really worried about Agasha drawing that?
I think it was just to see another fresh card from R&D, which maybe Longi feels like he can't win, like in a longer game, so he's just trying to get as many accesses as possible. But yeah, I don't know. So the thing is, like looking at Agasha's archives, a lot of ice has already left the game, and yeah, okay, but apparently there's more. I was gonna make the point that maybe it's hard to put an ice both on R&D and the remote, which is needed to score out. So if there's an Obokata in hand and there is like an Anansi on server 5, then Agasha is in a good position. But we don't know. So I'm guessing there's 2 agendas in archives too, so in order to be able to even have a chance to steal those, Longi would need to first check archives and then run R&D, which seems impossible at this point. So it looks like Agasha is now threatening game, and Longi needs to... Maybe Longi needs to just get, assuming that the last agenda is not in HQ, because I'm guessing this is a 8 agenda deck with 3 sandboxes. Alright, well, it could be a 9 agenda deck too, with 3 Niseis, 3 Obokatas, and 3 sandboxes. But yeah, I don't think Longi is getting into that remote more than once, and there's a Nisei counter. So maybe you just hope to get that good access from R&D this turn.
Yeah.
Just drawing. Still trying to... Ooh, yeah.
That's...
I think that means game.
Mm-hmm.
I think... Okay, so you have to let this fire, and then you have to find an agenda. No, it doesn't even matter anymore. You can, your last click, Agasha can just choose the Nisei counter, so the game is over, I believe.
I mean, they could amped up into inside job.
Yeah, if they're on inside job. But it's true that they could play amped up and run something and maybe get in. That's still possible. But they wouldn't get in twice, I don't think. Which is the problem. You could still use the Nisei counter. Longi was hoping for Anansi. Was he hoping for Anansi dealing trashing I've had worse, perhaps? To get enough cards?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been really cool. Because there's one more I've had worse left. Perhaps both of them would have been hit, and then Longi would have been at 8 cards. So even if you use the Nisei counter, you can actually run through Anansi one more time and steal the Obokata. That would have been absolutely sick. Oh no, but he's run out of cards in the stack, so that wouldn't work. Yeah.
But it still would have been possible, right? Because
No,
now he took four meat damage, net damage, and the Nancy also does 4 worst case, and he's still on 5 cards.
Well, yes, but he would have needed to run through Anansi one more time, and then he would only be at 1 card when accessing the avocado. It wouldn't be possible.
True.
Yeah, just use the NISEI counter here and smile. Yeah, that's what he's doing. Unfortunate. GG, I guess.
Yeah.
A little salty there. Or maybe he's just like assessing the. Okay.
Yeah.
Good game.
Yeah, good game.
All right. What do you guys want to look at? Oh, there's not many people playing. Actually. There's table 13 is still playing and table 16.
Cool. Would you like to pick one and then just double check that they're okay with us visiting?
Yeah. Let's just pick table 13 because they're higher up and ask APAC. See. I asked them now. Tell you right now that this game is looking crazy. There's a PD with 4 eyes on archives. Yeah. There's so they're saying it's okay. It's all good. Yeah.
Don't spoil all the fun.
I'm sorry, but this is. Oh, there's an anoetic, but yeah, this is looking hopeless for the runner, to be honest. Not enough money.
That is a lot of ice.
Yeah, and there's not even enough money to get into R&D here. Although there's 3 cards in R&D, and can better be able to score this turn or next turn, I believe. Well, this is gonna be. But all the subroutines get to fire now. Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter that much. Okay, so 2 seamless are in the bin. I'm guessing there's still a seamless in the HQ though. Spin Doctor was installed, but that if it's rest, you okay, it's just winning now. That's a good. Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
I mean, at least we saw 4 eyes on archives, so that's something.
Yeah,
yes.
It's not usual to see PD with this huge board, I think. Looks like this was also. Was this also Hoshiko? No, looking at the deck size, it might have been Loop. Yeah, I think it's Loop.
So it's turn 19 Lu, and they drew 20 cards.
Yeah, it's looking kind of like a regular PD list. Okay. There's 1 table left, I think. Should we ask them?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, they just finished the game.
Okay. So I guess that's like
the whole round is done then.
Yeah, the whole round. Do you have highlights from what you've seen so far? Like highlights from the day or from the last round particularly?
Mitch winning.
Friends.
No. I don't know. Like I feel like there's been a lot of one-sided games. But actually, the game that Mitch played versus 419 was actually kind of back and forth. I feel like.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I think that's still one of my highlights because it was very tight there for a while
Very
when
tight.
he was at low credit count. Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, that we didn't get to see an Argus or a Reality Plus. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting games still.
Yep.
And yeah, it looks like all the top 3 tables split.
Can we make up like who finishes top 8 just by looking at the results?
So that's so
yeah,
far.
Let's see if we can do it. So we know that the top. Well, we can only guess because we don't know what the strength of schedule is going to be. But if my estimation is correct, that means we only have 2 spots for the people below table 3 to get in. So it's all going to depend on the tiebreakers. So anyone who's on 21, and I can list the people who might be in top 8. There's still tables that are not reported, but I'm going to list the ones we know. CA Knuckle Guy swept, NB Kelly swept, Gunslinger swept, Mitch swept, Bing 005 swept, and Mulette swept. I believe all of those people were on 15, and then I'm not sure anymore. I'm gonna check.
So is it going to be strength of schedule that is like important?
Yeah, I believe first they check strength of schedule. If that doesn't decide it, then you go to extended strength of schedule. After that, I'm not sure about the steps anymore. I think one step is like if you face the person, but I believe that's the last step, checking like if you played against the person. And I think if there is no like after a certain point, they just randomize it. But yeah, usually it like the strength of schedule and extended strength of schedule should be enough to decide. But yeah, with
mentioned something in chat that like his strength of schedule wasn't super great when he ID'd. So maybe there's something like a chance for some more people to get in, because it looks very close. He was on 2.6 before, and like many people who
although
for one were on 3.
That's a good point. Yeah. Although we should keep in mind the fact that Rotage just played a player with 18 points will increase his strength of schedule. So may have been weak last round, but it might be strong now.
Yeah. Looks like it's down to the wire.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I guess we will see. Should we wrap it up, or do we want to stick around to see who makes it?
I might just refresh to see if the standings refresh.
Oh, actually,
yes, they do. They just refresh now. Gosh, that's quite changes.
Yes. So Rotage didn't make it, unfortunately. So he's 9. And we have NB Kelly, Ice Prisma, CA Knuckle Guy, Motion Blur, Gunslinger, Rongi Doge, Bing, and Sokka in the top cut.
Gosh.
So it's actually
that's quite a big change from previous.
Yeah, there's 2 people that were in the top 6 that actually got bumped down from the previous round, Anarcho Mushroom and Rotage. If there is no, that's really unfortunate if there is no tiebreak rounds.
Yeah.
Like, but that means, it shows that sometimes you may still need to fight. Yeah, you might still need to fight at those top tables sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to know ahead of time.
Yes. It's very hard.
Alright.
I am personally slightly happy there's some APAC people, at least. Some.
Yeah. I'm sad Mitch didn't make it. Who are the APAC people?
I think it's Bing 005 and NB Kelly, I know, is New Zealand.
Yeah.
And there may be people I'm overlooking. I'm really sorry if that's the case.
I'm excited for Bing's decks, like Ken and Jemison. Like, it's hilarious.
Wait,
like,
I'm just seeing that. What's
yeah, it's,
and we also maybe do get to see NBN tomorrow.
NBN and Zaya.
Yeah, and Zaya.
Both of those are
several
exciting.
Zaya. Possibly.
What?
Gunslinger has Zaya and NB Kelly has Zaya.
Oh, there's 2 Zaya.
2.
Okay, super cool.
And a smoke.
Yeah, the smoke. Yeah, and a loop.
Yeah.
And actually, there's in terms of Anarchs, we only have Max and loop.
Yep.
No Hoshiko, no.
No.
Val, no, nothing like that. Actually, maybe there weren't any Vals playing in the tournament.
I
Yeah,
don't
there weren't.
think so. Yeah.
Oh, never mind. No one is trying that. Okay, but yeah, very interesting.
Yep.
Will be exciting to see tomorrow.
Cool.
Yeah, cool.
Okay. I'd like to thank you both very, very much, Bridgeman and Rustryder, for coming and giving all your information, and thank you everyone for in chat. It's been really, really cool hanging out with you, and I think I am now going to say good night and see you all tomorrow. And that was like really, really fun to watch. So see you all.
Yeah,
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thanks for having the stream and letting me be on it and stuff. And,
no, it was great.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to commentate, and maybe I'll be on tomorrow. I don't know yet, but we'll see.
Cool. Okay.
So
thank you,
and bye.
everyone. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.